Good evening, good evening. Welcome to the live Facebook and thank you for coming tonight. I do see some of our regular member in here and it's also great. And tonight for the first week of October, bringing you again another new topic on what's happening to the market and how you are able to capitalize to the new opportunity that we have in this market right now. I know many of you are still pretty much profounded for the month of September, where many of you really struggle to make money. As I said before, in the month of September, we do have those bearish months. But if you have followed some of VSA 360 trade, you could have made some money. And I'm going to share with you how you can do that. But before that, we do know many of you still have some of those old rubber glove stock that stuck with you. Now, if you have any of those rubber glove stocks still in your possession here, can you pencil those in if you have some or none? All right. I'd like to know that if you still have those in concern. I'm definitely going to share with you how you can definitely restructure your portfolio and get rid of some of those rubber glove stocks. Right, and also want to know whether rubber glove stock is worthwhile or in favor, and I'm going to share with you definitely right tonight in here. So when you free up some of those portfolio, then you have fresh capital. And guess what? If the month of October and the remaining month of November and December, right, turning bullish, and we all know from our VSA 360 seasonality monthly chart, a lot are very profitable. All right, so that's why we want to ensure that you all stay on and have an opportunity to ride the end of the year rally in there. All right, so tonight, welcome again. A good evening to all of you who is coming, and thank you for coming and thank you for sharing for this portfolio restructuring, adjust and renew your portfolio. That's what's happening right now. I'm sure some of you may have some question that you want to ask me, some of the stocks that you have and the existing portfolio. What should I do with it? So put it into the comment section in there and I'll be happy to answer them for you in here. So let's get on to what we have for you. Now, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel in here for all our video which we will archive, including the one that we are doing right now in here. And of course, the continuing month, this is the series for the month of October. All in all, we have 4 series talks. So this is the first one in here and they are kind of linked in terms of the topic in here. Definitely for this month of October, we'll be focusing a lot on budget 2023, which is happening this coming Friday. So next Wednesday on the 12th of October, I'll be commenting. But tonight is the portfolio restructure. So we want to make sure you clear off some of those capital, right? Those so-called stocks that it's stuck and you don't know what to do with them. It become dead, what we call a dead wood. So maybe you can relinquish some of them. We're going to share with you some ideas that we professionals here do to relinquish or at least, get rid of some of those old stocks that we have. All right. And then if we do have a year-end general election, and you all know with the general election GE15, market can turn bullish. From historically the last 5 general election we have, market has simply gone up. Some has gone up as high as double digits. So this is a time where you want to make back all those losses that you have made, losses that you have lost in the first and second half of the year 2022. So we want to make it back in there, and definitely GE15, which is the 26th of October, just behind here. And what are the themes that you want to focus on? And I do hope that tonight this video in here will be some sort of something you can watch on and refer it for the month of October. All right, let's get on to the market in there, and a little bit more in line with all the 10/10 e-commerce. We do have a 10/10 big sale in here. I will talk about it at the end of this budget. And of course, the 10/10 sale, it has a 50% discount with a bonus cost, which I'll come back to it at the end of it. But let's talk about where you are now. Now, I do know some of these may not apply to majority of the people out there, but if you are listening and you are still holding on some glove stock or some technology stock or some consumer or related and you don't know what to do with it. I mean, just using the rubber glove stock as a proxy in here, and you want to sort of know what you want to do with it in here, yeah? Okay, so you're still holding on those rubber gloves which you bought last year or maybe even 2020, and the technology stock since then has started to come down too. So a lot of your portfolio that you have, right, are intended for short term, and you do not know what to do with it in here, and you kind of sort of stuck in here, and then you are seeing also opportunity right now but not able to capitalize it because all your money is actually tied to it. So what you do, and on top of that, there is a bear market, so that also create a lot of uncertainty whether you want to really continue to hold on in here. You're becoming impatient as a glove stock hit lower and lower, and even becoming penny stocks right now. And of course, for the month of October, after the September month been hitting a bit low in here, we are back into some great rally. We've seen the last 3-day great rally in here, and many of you are kind of noticing, is this a bear market rally? Yet to be seen, but what in the past has shown us, if you do have a very bearish month, especially in the month of September, which is down almost 12%, this coming month we will see rebound in here. And also align with the budget 2023, what are those sectors? And do join us in the coming weeks for that, Inva. And also GE15 market rally, what can you do now? So in this live talk, I'll give you a couple of suggestions what you can do, and think about it in there, and hopefully you can also put in your idea and maybe some feedback on some of the strategy we talk about in here. Now the key point here is freeing fresh capital. Freeing fresh capital, getting more money in here, not putting new money, or putting or even averaging. Now I do know some of you are trying to average out some of your rubber glove stock trade, and I highly don't recommend that. Why throw good money over bad money? Think of that, right? It's like throwing a salt into the sea. It just waste of money. Why don't you have a good new strategy using, some of you have been following me on the VSA 360 or using some of the VSA sign or strength sign, and look for those stocks to trade on, especially after all, traditionally and in the past, budget with the G15, we will have no doubt. What is behind this bearishness? I think many of you would have heard me say about it, with the bear market overlooking, and also talk about recession in early 2023, all due to the high inflation rate and the persistent conflict between Russia and Ukraine. So what should you do now, right? So if you are in that situation, guess what? You are at the right spot, because tonight we'll be talking about portfolio restructuring, adjusting and renew your portfolio. What are some of those sectors which is really out of favor, and then you shouldn't be holding in here, and more importantly, building a confidence, rebuilding that confidence when you first bought into market to rejuvenate your portfolio in here. Also talk about some of the benefit of portfolio restructuring and focusing on a trading plan, and also asset allocation too, with the new diversification for your 2023. I think whole point is to give you ideas where you want to start it, because this coming Q4 2022, right, is going to be a very volatile. You will see also tonight, right now, as we talk about, Dow Jones has a bit of sell-off after almost a 6% move, one of the best move over in the last 10 years in here. And using VSA 360 is an excellent timing to buying low. That's right at the end of September, and possibly selling high in November. So that is what we have seen from our VSA 360 benefiting here, and then having that Pentagon guider when the market is up or down. And little hint here, guess what? The KLCI green Pentagon has already turned green. Okay, so keep that in mind, and that's what we want to do. Follow those smart money, and this is something by Tom Williams, creator of Volume Spread Analysis. And of course, all this is possible with our VSA 360. In the month of September, we will been promoting and showing you some of the good benefit of our visual trading plan, stock alert notification, and also reward to risk return in here. Now, if you look at this, I think many of you have known this is some of the stocks that you may have already stuck, is like Top Glove. Looking back to almost 6 months ago, Top Glove was around 180 and right now it's about at 60 cents, right? So that big drop is almost minus 66%. I do know some of you saying, please don't tell me about how my rubber glove, right? But yeah, of course, for those of you who have got rid of your rubber glove, well done again. But so some of you may have still have it, perhaps following at least the red pentagon in there or cutting loss would have saved you potentially 3,300 ringgit from a 5k trade. Now take note, a lot of the time when I trade, I always use a $5,000 trade size. I do know 5,000 trade size is a bit small, but usually that is the average amount that most people want to try. You can also double that amount to $10,000 per trade or maybe $15,000 per trade size. Another one, looking back at the last 6 months of Hartalega, which were previously at 4 ringgit 80 cent, and then when the red pentagon appeared, and right now it's about at 170, that also down another minus 64%. Very similar to what we've seen also with Top Glove, and that also potentially has saved you, if you have at least take some sort of cut loss, would you have saved you 3,200 ringgit from a 5k trade, all right, from a 5k trade in here. And how about pressed metal, right? One of those sizes in here, not as much as the rubber glove stock, but still down from 6 ringgit 20 cent to 4 ringgit, a minus 35% return in, minus 35 return, saving you a potential 1,750 ringgit from a 5k. And this is what we talk about. The idea is if you're able to cut loss, I know losses are pain, and depending on what you look at it in here, remember every trade has an entry and exit depending on your strategy in here. On this context, we are talking about the shorter term trading in here, and there's a lot of the trading strategy we have in VSA usually follow that with an entry and exit, and should the trade don't work out, we have the cut loss. But do bear in mind, Pentagon Guider, we are averaging around the 55 to 70% rate of winnings, of course, right? Of course, on a more trending market, then definitely we are achieving higher in here. So following those premises, the Pentagon Guider green or red pentagon will give you an excellent timing in here. And another one, looking at the 6 month of MYEG, right, down from 97 cents to 86 cents. That's a down of 11% because MYEG since then has kicked back, right? Now we all know MYEG started to move back up because this is a general election, right? And you notice somewhere here, this market here, right, the market pull back, that was where they realized, hey, we already oversold too much of MYG. This is election stock in here, especially some sort of linkage to the Barisan Nasional Political Party, and then the market has recovered, still saving you a potential 567 ringgit. And Mr. DIY, one of the consumer stock, and was also affected by the COVID in here, exiting on the red pentagon at 2 ringgit 30 cent to 2 ringgit minus 30%, minus 13% in here, saving you a potential of 6 ringgit from a 5k. Now the lesson and the thing we're going to share with you, it is important to cut loss or even take profit in here. Now taking profit will be another session we'll cover, but today we're going to be talking about cutting loss to free up your portfolio so you can reconstruct your portfolio again in here. Now your original trading plan, like it or not, was going to be like this. You buy here and this is your stop loss, and you wanted to avoid that loss. All right, this was your original plan. You know, probably maybe around here you have a 10%, you want to take some profit. That was the original goal, that what you want trying to do in here, right? And of course, what usually done for most people, right, they follow that, they plan the trade and they do the plan, and they have some sort of intraday. What do you plan to do? You want to buy here maybe within the first hour of the day, and you want to sell maybe just after lunch for 3 or 4% profit in here. That was a plan. Then you have the Pentagon Guider trading method in here. You want to buy some sort of pullback and the market goes higher, and when you see the first sign of red pentagon, you would want to exit. But usually what happens? That's right, this become the actually plan, right? What you plan to do, but often doesn't come out nicely. So most people, what actually comes is that, oh, break the cut loss level in here, break the ATR stop loss, maybe it will come back. Let's say forward. Oh, now it's forming a support. It will come back to me, right? And then break some more. Finally, say, I don't want to know. Does it feel familiar? Does it reflect you? Let me hear your comment in there. I'd like to hear your comment. Pencil those comments in there and let me know. So what we are trying to do in here is very, very similar. A lot of the time people fall into that category. If this happened to you on top here, don't be alarmed. We do have a solution, and the solution will be in a couple of slides from here in here, and that's what we want to talk. So plan your trade and do your plan, and don't be so hard on yourself. Let's put it that way, right? If this really actually happened to you and you wanted to do that one, okay? You wanted to do this on the left-hand side of the chart, but you couldn't do it, but you end up doing on the left-hand side, that's fine. I mean, it happens to all of us. The question is, don't happen it too many times. And right now, this month of October, take cognizance of the market rallying right now, because the KLCI has already turned green Pentagon in here, and through our back testing extensively going back to 10 years, this is a possible move in here. We never be sure. So what is the next step? Do I cut loss on my existing portfolio? Now, a lot of people always talk about the market direction. I wait for the market to go up. Okay, then maybe I take profit. But if you're not going to do anything, market direction is quite irrelevant. Market direction is only for you to relieve your burden that you have. Market going down, maybe I don't lose so much. But if the market go down some more, then I don't want to know, right? That always happens. So determine whether you want to cut loss to liquidate your capital, so to free up some sort of fund, and only then you can reconstruct and adjust your portfolio. Does it make sense? If it does make sense, type in 1 in there. And that's what the message we are trying to do in here, right? And so how much do you want to cut loss? Can I lose this amount since I have not realized yet, right? Because a lot of people also think like that too, right? But we have to be realistic in here, right? So there are 3 methods in here. First method is cut loss on the next rally should the market go up. I know this stock is already gone beyond my 30% in here, but at least I can free up some fresh funds. Then I can start trading for new opportunity, right? And this is something you want to do at the next resistance, the short resistance. Method B, cut loss if it break major support. Now, major support I've talked about on my morning podcast. Do join me on the Telegram, Telegram for the Trade VSA trading idea in here is the 1380 level. Maybe that's a major support in here. But if you look truly from the top glove, it has broken many major support and continue to move even beyond 1 ringgit. And finally, when it broke through the 1 ringgit, we all do know that stock eventually becomes what? Becomes a losing stocks inside there. And usually a lot of the time, stocks will move ahead of the fundamental. Or maybe you just want to adopt method C, do nothing but hope the stock comes back again. Or even worse, some people do the next worst thing is averaging down, right? So these are usually what people do in here, but I just say there must be a better method to reconstruct, right, your portfolio in there. Now, of course, let's take a look at it, right? Now, look at this. This is the ongoing Russian-Ukraine war. There was some story in here where the new intern, or what they call it, the new draft, mobilization. We saw mobilization by Vladimir Putin in here. They send them to the front line to fight without little or no bullet. And that's what's actually happening right now. So just imagine you are every day looking in the market. You don't have any bullet. All right? And so you can only see opportunity pass because you're still holding on to some of those losses in there. And worse, there were even story. I have to share my old AK-47, which is actually a machine gun, a tool with another soldier. So when you have this disadvantage against you with little or no profit, no wonder the Russians, right, soldiers has no motivation to fight. And very similarly, if you are a trader where you don't have any fresh funds, how are you going to look into new opportunity? Your mind will be completely shut because you're just looking at your losses. Now remember, sometimes we just have to give a pat on ourselves and forgive ourselves. And let's move on. That's the question in here. Don't be like the Russian-Ukraine war, which is under the leadership of President Putin, and everything is going to go into a shambles. And I can tell you, they are definitely going to lose the war. What do you think? Let me know, pencil those insight in there, right? So why we want to do this, we want to do it slightly different, right? We want to implement some sort of a cut loss so we can free up. So the next question is how much to cut loss. Now, first thing is we have to decide that we want to be a courage trader, right? I know a lot of you very say that, but what happens if I cut loss, the stock market go higher? Then you become very regretful, right? We do have regrets in life. I think more importantly is to accept it. At least you have done something. Choose a method in here. For me, and I hope some of our members who is listening now, those of you who have been with us for some time, for those, some of the public in here, I hope you have choose to be a courage trader, a courage investor. Decide out front whether you want to cut a quarter, which means if it does break the stop loss or if it does go higher in here, how much do I want to cut the quantity? Do I, sell maybe 25%, or do I sell 50%, or do I sell all of it? Now this will take some sort of some thinking a bit to do, and I have advice. If it's very painful, maybe just cut 10%, cut 20%. All right, this is like a quarter, or you can cut in stages. Okay, maybe right now I cut 10% first. Okay, since the market is rallying, then next day I'll cut another 20. But more importantly, when you start doing it, you will have the momentum, and that momentum will build upon. I can share with you, when I first started to run during the COVID in here, I couldn't run 1 kilometer, I couldn't run 2 kilometer, but I started building 1 kilometer upon another kilometer, and guess what? By the end of it, I'm able to run 10 kilometer, and this will happen to you too. And guess what? This weekend I'll be running a 10k run in here, and it's not going to happen overnight. So same thing in running, you got to implement that cut loss. Cut 10%, cut 20%, slowly in stages, or you can have variant of it. And I do hope this is a very strong lesson for you to in. Be a courage trader, and at the end of it, if the market do rally and you do cut some of those, and you're benefited it, then all you have to do is that you were courageous to take that extra step. And with that, the silver lining is that you will have fresh capital. Very important in here. Now, of course, the emotion always stays in here. Right now, when the market is highly volatile, this is where you are fearful. All right, the market go through, and I can tell you right now, there is a lot of hope, because the market in September was like this, right? September, you were like down, stock price was going down, and then now market pull back. We saw some of the rubber gloves did rebound back in here. So now that you hope that the rubber glove will go back to maybe 3 ringgit, 4 ringgit, or go back it, but that's going to take a while right now, because you have oversupply, and also the ASP, the average selling price has dropped a lot. So my take is we need to cut loss, maybe cut when the market go a bit higher in here, but at the end of it, you must free up some fund. If you have some free funds out there that coming in right now, then you can use it to trade in the shorter terms. I highly encourage in here, but don't be denial. I think that's more important. When people are in denial, say that, hey, rubber glove is going to go back to 60 now. It's not going to go back rubber glove, but at least some of the fresh one that you have right now, you implement into a new strategy, make back for the profit. I think that's important. Forget about the old one. I know it's painful, but usually this is what the market will do. As the market go higher, you're going to be very greedy. You want to average out, but guess what? You are throwing good money into bad money. And I do hope what I've said here makes sense, at least have some sort of logic in you too. Now, some of the benefit of cut loss in here, because of that, you have a fresh capital trade, and that's where we are seeing new opportunity. And a lot of the time when people don't have this so-called extra vision, because they are still bogged down at looking at all the regrets. Oh, I should take some profit in here. You're not able to see new opportunity. So in VSA 360, we have the seasonality, and some of you have seen it before. And right now, the KLCI has also turned green pentagon. So that's a new trend rally in here. No doubt, many of you people will be asking, will this trend last or not? But at least we have a tools in VSA 60 to trade the shorter terms. And very important is, at the end of this whole thing, the last 2 years, the COVID, buying maybe rubber glove at a high price in here, what was your mistake? Was your mistake listening to me? Or was it a mistake that I did not implement what I was supposed to do, right? We all need to accept responsibility, right? And once we accept the responsibility, we can learn from it, and then we are able to do more difficult things, right? Dealing and doing more difficult things. Because if you're going to be like me in the stock market, I was in the stock market before COVID, long time ago. And it's very important to rebuild that confidence. And that comes from doing and dealing with difficult things day in, day out. And if you don't do difficult things, just like in terms of running, right? You don't compound that 1 kilometer, another kilometer. You don't build that muscle. Now, do you know in terms of running, you actually benefit from recovery, right? After the strenuous run, and not from the actual running, because when you run you get tired, but when you rest, when you recover, then you have new strength, and that's what rebuilding confidence is. So when you get rid some of those stocks, I'm not selling all, maybe just 10-20% in here, you get a few thousand here, a few thousand there, that adds up, then you can start buying. And when you are winning, then that's the right path to go on. So it's better to do it now than later. So let's look at it. So one of the things we suggest in here to reconstruct your portfolio is start paper trading or trade very small. And in this coming November 2022, after the 10-10, right, we will have a new campaign, a 100-day orientation campaign where we get all our members, very similar to what we did in the 20-day live trading challenge, but this time we're doing a bit longer to ensure that you have a proper follow through. This new focus will be on the new VSA feature in there. And if you have not joined this program, make sure you enroll and join the VSA Member Orientation 100 campaign, which will start in November 22. This will itself help you to rejuvenate your portfolio, as we are talking about in here. And something that we have talked from our past history, from our successes, from the turtle trading to the 20-day live trading challenge in here, we are seeing some of our students has outperformed the market, especially in the month of July, which I talk about, like Eric and KitGo making 28%, 23%, and 13% are evidence. If you follow through, right, and have some sort of a plan in here, definitely you will do much better. Now, isn't it a time for change? If you're still stuck on your own mold in here, not willing to invest the time and the money in here, and the result remains the same. And it's just great to see some of our students in here, and we as the coaches here continue to encourage all our members to undergo that rejuvenation in here. When you see new opportunity, you will turn into a new leaf in here. Now, trader, very important, must also know their reward and risk, and this is something that we are doing in a line with the system that we have in here, right? Let me just show you here. So one of the things we do talk about in the VSA 360 is to set up the personal alert should the stop loss break through the ATR stop loss and the others alert system. Because in the VSA 360 we have 6 alert plus the upper and low, so we almost have 8 alert in here sending to you, so you are able to take the necessary conditions. So no excuses what you can do in here. And because I hope that you all choose to be a courage trader, and a courage trader usually also means you are a rational trader. A rational trader which can keep your emotion in place, right? Because you're not putting too much of the money in here and you want to act accordingly. So here in our VSA 360, as I said before in here, we have the reward to risk using our new feature, and being a courage and rational trader, you want to add into a reward and risk, which means you only want to trade when the signal is aligned, the setup is good, the reward and risk is good. In this in here, you can see Inari, we do have the R1 being the target profit at 282 and your stop loss at 241, giving you the entry reward to risk is 2.5 times, which is pretty good, right? And this is the kind of training that we do help you to reconstruct your portfolio in here. Now, only start trading real money once you've done the essential. Some of those early on are a couple of the ideas that are here. Of course, in our further campaign, we'll do more, right? In our 100-day campaign here. So ensure you have some successes in paper trading first. Let's say you just did that Inari trade in here. Then you incorporate the trading tool and make sure you have the right tool. Tools that can determine when the market is trending or not, right? Or a tool can able for you to find the share with ease. Not that you have to spend 5, 6, 7 hours to look for 1 or 2 shares. You want to spend less than 10 minutes. And that's how I'm able to select my intraday trade within seconds. That's right, within seconds. All I do is open up my VSA 360 in here. When the thing pops out, my alert come to me, I will definitely do the trade. Do you have a system to do that? If not, that's something you want to check out in here. So you want to do things which is very different from the past, and also having a coach watching after you. This is where we differentiate a lot from other people. We not only have the tools, we also have the coaches in here and our regular. And now remember, just 2 Saturday ago, we have our member session in here where we actually get our member to sort of share their experiences and how well they're able to cope in this difficulty. Now, have you got that? Right? Maybe that's the missing point in some of the things in here. Now, where to cut loss and free some capital from losing stock early on, where you want to do is like right now, maybe you want to implement is set up maybe 10% you want to take off, and then you limit it to a 4% loss from right now. Or maybe just the market go up by another 4%, you want to take some profit in here. Or maybe breaking of the R1 or support 1 or S2. Or the next sign of strength, sign of weakness. Maybe you want to exit on the next upthrust, or you want to cut loss when you see climatic change on the thing in here. Or more importantly, as I said before, the rubber glove currently is out of favor, and there's little purpose of holding in here. The VSA 360 have a sector analysis that actually tells you what is hot in here, and this is something that I do on my Friday talk in here, so make sure you check it out in there. Right. And also this is our VSA visual plan, the new benefits in here. You can see right now, you can see top glove, definitely if you break through this S1, and the S1 is at 57 cents, which is another 10% or close to about 11%. That's where you need to be out. Okay, but good thing is already turned green Pentagon. So if it turned green Pentagon today, you might want to let it run a bit. Maybe you can also take profit at R2. All right, if you're taking R2 and your stop loss is at S1, that will be a 2.7 reward to risk. Very simple, all calculated by, you can see R1 is 83 cents, R2 is 105. This is your 83 cents here, your 105 is up here, and your stop loss is at 56 cents. So definitely 56 cents. If it does break lower, that's where you went out, the visual trading. Now looking at Hartalega in here, now remember Hartalega turned green Pentagon much earlier on the 25th, around 150. Now it's already 170. You can see in here the S1 is 152. So 152 is your support should the market break. That's where you want to exit your trade and then free up that fund. Or maybe the next 4%, 5% should Hartalega move, maybe dispose of it 10-20%. So as you go higher, sell and sell and sell. Keep those fresh funds. And once you have those fresh funds, you will have a lot of idea. I'm going to share with you how to do that too. All right. Then next one is pressed metal. All right. Now remember, pressed metal has dropped a bit more in here. This is a 2-to-1, which means your stop loss or your support S1 will be at 392. Right, and taking profit at the old high of R1, which is $5 in here, giving you a reward to risk of 2-to-1. And if you implement this new reward to risk, I will tell you in the long run, you'll be that courage and very fascinated trader. And this is what we're all about, the visual trading plan in here. All right, if you have any question, just pencil those in here and let me know how we can help. So also looking at MYEG, all right, now you see from MYEG, which turned green Pentagon in here, the support will be in S1 at 82 cents, which is another 6 points from where we are. And R1 is at 0.90, okay, which is a 2.9% there. And R2 is 96 cents. Which is 9.7 cents. So all these are specified out and it has a reward of 1.55 to 1. All right, let's look at another stock we were talking previously is Mr. DIY, right? Mr. DIY has dropped a fair bit. And if you're starting in, the ideal approach will be entering at just below 195, your stop loss at S1, 190, and taking profit at 214. All right, take 214. So this is a very, very simple visual plan. Just, exiting, having a concrete steps or having a concrete initiative so you can free those capital, do something about it rather than do nothing at all. And once you have that, we're going to turn our attention to where to allocate your fresh capital now. Now, before that, I think it's also important you want to go through this proper step to determine your investor or your trader profiling. Now in our masterclass, we do a profiling member module where you are able to determine whether you are more risk aversive, more profit taking, more fearful, based on your education, based on your age, and then from there onward we will set up a portfolio allocation in there, right? From the portfolio allocation, then we will work on the sector diversification, which will align with the GE15 and budget 2020. Because right now we're just talking for the next 3 months, from the month of October to at least year end. That's a strategy we want to be focusing right now. We're not talking about 2023. No one can forecast 2023. No one will know that future in there, and we do want to do that. And right now we also want to be looking at the hot and trending stock sectors. That's all, right? This hot and trending stock sector will give you a lot of opportunity. I know there's a lot of people who are giving you what sector stock to look at, but I can tell you one thing: if you don't get this strategy right, if you don't have the fresh capital, they can give you a lot of stock, they can give you a lot of fish, you still don't know what to do, and you're back to square one. So one of the things next week I'll be talking is the 12th of October budget 2023. So we'll be looking at some of those sectors, how you can allocate those fresh capital in there. And remember, if you don't cut loss or you don't take some profit in here, you're not gonna have fresh capital. Whole point is your stock portfolio have to move. It cannot stay dead wood. Again, depending on your profiling of your investor. And that's very important in here. Don't just sell for the sake of selling. You need to have fallback to your overall investing strategy in here to do that. All right. So where do you use the fresh capital? And of course, this is something that we are very proud of, using VSA 360. And due to the shorter term nature of the market, where we don't want to expose too much already, we recommended trading intraday, where you see a lot of success in here. Now the VSA 360, very quickly, just going to share with you in here, and you can see there are lots of trade, right? And you can see so in here you can see, so particularly I'm really interested in those turning green pentagon. You can see Scientech has turned green pentagon, yes. Notion has turned. So a lot of these actually turn at 4:30. Usually when I see some of them turn at 4:30, they always udang the sabalik batu. Means there is a reason why they turn green pentagon in here. COC or Sunway Corn has turned. You can see the chart. Yep, it actually turned green pentagon, maybe started to move up. And these are some of the stocks you want to turn your thing. Rojas, SOP, okay. So one of the new features is that when you mouse over this stock, you actually can see some of the trend here. Okay, you can see the trend already. All right, you can see the trend. KYM, Maybach, okay, this one is still downtrend. And after that, you want to be focusing on the stock that has the right trend. So this is something you can see. Amada, Amada is holding up in here, and the oil and gas is turning back. So a lot of good stocks in here. I can tell you, I just went in on one trade early on, was on the oil and gas, but I'm not going to share with you. Maybe on Friday, Friday or tomorrow. Capital A has also turned green pentagon in here, right, early on about 11. So you can see those stock that has turned green pentagon around the 430 and 450 on, that is a reason for that, and you can only get it with VSA 360. Now if you have not done so, this is a chance for you to check out our 10/10 sales opportunity in here. All right, so the VSA 360 in here, just fall back on some of the trades in that I've done early on. JSB was came out on 936, and there's one on Tafik, came out on the 19th September. This was 344, right? Just showing you how I done the trading in here. 936 was BP Plus, right? You can see this was JSB, right? You can, the VSA 360 spotted at 936 in here, was above the zero line. Very good entry in here. And subsequently, it did hit high 7.5% in here for a possible 377 ringgit from a $5,000 trade. As I said before, if you can free up couple of thousand here, couple of thousand there, then you can form your $5,000. Then you can start to trade in here. Just do some of the shorter term trading in here. JSB for the trade that I've done, 185 ringgit in here from a 5k trade. It did go higher, but I'm just targeting a 3 to 4% target in here. 3 to 4% target in here. Another one is Tafik. I think Tafik did go higher, but I sort of break even for this trade, I believe so. And you can see break even trade in at 45 out 45 out. Right. because the one of the reason why is because I have a time expiration for each of my intraday in here. Another one is BP Plastic. You can see here, this was a small loss in here. The market did turn back up, and you can see small loss break lower in here, 142. But if I didn't cut loss, the market will go lower. So this is also, you can actually practice this. Remember, I talked about in early on. You can do this paper trading first. All right, you sign up our 10-10 offer, do a paper trading first until you make money, then only you start using real money. But even if you use real money, you start with a small amount first in here. Ajaya, you can see this is a new entry, in at 115, exit at 119. Before the market fall back again, and there was for 172 ringgit realized profit for 3.4% here. Small profit. Remember, the market is still pretty much on the Optimax for 3.2% in here, right? In also. Then another one, Huatai did early on, went out at the 3.3 to 4% in here before the market turned. Now remember, once the market hit, you always turn back one. So this is where we get in for a small profit. So we have high win rates. We rebuild our confidence in here, right? Then only focusing more on winning. Okay. Then another one, Samaden was about 3.5% in here. Of course, once you have more confidence in here, you can put in the bigger and higher profit target, even as high as 8 to 10%. That's most, because this market is not going to give you what we used to see back in 2022. All right. And latest was KTC, which I've done 27, still in the trade yet, right? You could see this was targeting at 4.5%. Hope to target my target profit in here, right? And that's what I want to share with you tonight. So for summary, right, during this market condition, we want to be patient, right? We want to free up our cash, but very important is that we still want to wait for the right time to exit and also have a plan. Some of the ideas I share with you in here will help you to reconstruct, and once you reconstruct it, you will want to go on to those hot and trendy stocks to build your portfolio, to build your portfolio. And we'll still use a minimum size of 5k. If you're more, you use it 10k in here. And very importantly is using the right tool. With the VSA 360, we believe you can rebuild your confidence in here, and having the first arrival of Green Pentagon. As I said before, the KLCI Green Pentagon is already here. All right, start with a small fresh capital. Don't use new money yet. Just look back at the old stocks that you have, and our VSA method has proven time and time again. In that short 2 or 3 days, despite the market is bad, we are still able to find short-term trading opportunity. Right, follow the smart money in here. Right, and also now intraday report will be sent to you on the daily basis. Some of those trades that you may miss out, you can see even within the intraday, you can get 6%, 2% kind of thing. And that's what we talk about, having small fishes to build that confidence in here. This is the one that will be sent out to you. I know this is very small font, but if you sign up, you'll get this on around 520. That's right. All right. And you can see FPE, Synergen, 5% during the day, alert you about 936, 913. And the one I got in was KTC. All right, 488 in here. This is sent out in here. Now let's go on to the big elephant in the house. We all know the year 2022 is a bear market, right? The inflation continued to be very high. Of course, the date we'll be looking at the October 13. Now, should the October 13 date to be lower than 8%, the US CPI figure, we will see the continued rallying for the month of October, which means this market will continue to move up. And I have said before, in many of the weaknesses that we see in the US market, right, weeks are showing market are turning back. Interest rate, we are looking at the 100 basis point, 2 heights in here. But if the 13th of October, the CPI figure is lower, they might just delay it, and then you'll see a market rally. And of course, there's a lot of talk depending who you listen to. There's a lot of news coming out, all those bear guru or saying the market will fall 20%. Ray Dalio will fall 30, say also 30%, 40%. You can listen and whatever do, but historically, if you look into the market in here, there is some basis. I do think the market has already built some sort of support in here. Right now, for the month of October, I remain to be bullish in here, but I can never know. So that's why I have a stop loss. All right. Now, and with this period of uncertainty, with the bearishness, and if it did not turn out the market's going to rally, you will see a lot of opportunity. At least what you have done, you have reconstructed some of your portfolio, getting rid of those stock that has been dead lock. Dead wooden lock, right? Dead wood. Okay, we call it dead wood. And free up some capital in here. Now a little bit more on our 10-10 sale. On the 10th, I think on the 8th, you are able to purchase our 3-month membership for 500 ringgit. And what you get also is a bonus course, what we call the post-budget 2023, how to maximize profit in intraday, right? And also looking into stocks in the inflationary sector, because once the budget 2023 comes out, we will know what are the sectors in here, and those are the sectors you want to be focusing on your intraday, at least cover back the 10-10 investment that you want to put in. That's the first goal we want to do. And you have seen, I'm going to show you before with a $5,000 kit. If you're lucky, you get 300-400 ringgit in here very, very quickly. You can cover within 1 or 2 trades in here. I think this is a great deal for you to test out and test drive the VSA 360 at a great 50% discount on the 10-10. So remember the 10-10 sale in here. And unlike in here, the VSA 360 allowed a very low cost entry compared to many other systems in here. A lot of systems are fully or partially automated in here, very focused on trade idea in here, optimizing both the US and the Malaysian side here. And we are very proud of what we built in here, built by our team in here, headed by myself in here for the VSA 360 in here. And we are the creator of Pentagon Guider, still seeking patent for that one, following the works of VSA. Green for up, red for down, and right now KLCI is already green Pentagon in here. And thank you for the many of the review that we've seen from our members in here. And also, of course, you can also get the 10-day free trial worth 266 from our 30 minutes coaching from our coach, from 1 hour trainer in here. So activate your free 10-day trial and test drive our intraday trade. Or if not, get ready to sign up for our new Trade VSA with our new features, what we have saw in here. And thank you for coming tonight. All right, do join our Telegram and share this in here. And of course, the biggest takeaway from tonight, if you do have can pencil in, you still stand a chance to win a 3-month membership worth 1,000 ringgit in here. All right, so if you have any question, just pencil them. I'm happy to answer them. But overall, I think you all know my opinion from my daily update of my morning podcast in here. That should be well driven to allow you to pick the right stock in here. Don't be overly bearish. I can make money in the market almost on the weekly basis, and I'm sure you can too if you do the right thing and the right work and some of the ideas that I talk about in the show. So thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this video on Tana. I wish you all the success. I do know our members are having a good deal of success in here, and if you're not, check us out. A chance for you to cover back some of the losses that you did in the first half of the year with this coming rally in here. Thank you for coming, and good night.